In this video, we're going to look at how to set up a mail merge, which you can use to send emails to either students or parents. And there's two main reasons you do this. Firstly, this makes your emails look much more professional because your emails to either students or parents are personalized with their name, and it saves you having to rewrite the same email many times. And secondly, it allows you to include data or information about that student that might be unique to each student. Now, it can be a little bit tricky to set up, but I guarantee once you've got the hang of it, it's quite simple and you'll never go back to writing the same email over and over again and changing the name manually each time. So the first thing you're going to need is an Excel spreadsheet, and I've got one on the screen here that I've made up, and you can see that on the left here, I've got the students' names. I've got a column here telling me whether or not they submitted their test. I've got the tier of their test, whether they did higher or standard. I've got some data here about the test itself, and most important of all, on the right hand side here, I've got each student's email address, I've got the name of their parent, and I've got their parent's email as well. So you can have any data in your spreadsheet that you like, but you will need to include the email address of anybody that you're going to send your mail merged email to. Make sure as well that you've got headings at the top of each column that tell you what information is in each column. Okay, so the next thing we need to do, once we've got our spreadsheet set up with our data there ready to go, even though we're going to send this as an email, we need to open up a new Word document. So you can see here I've created a Word document which has the wording of the email that I want to send out, and I've already written out Steve as the first student with a message to him, including the information that I want to send him in an email. Now, the whole point of the mail merge is that I don't want to rewrite this information every time I send an email out. I want it to fill that in for me depending on what was in the spreadsheet. So in order to set this up, the first thing we have to do is we have to tell Word that we want to send this as an email. So if we go up to the ribbon where it says Start Mail Merge, and I just select on there Email Messages, and now Word knows that we're going to send this as an email message. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to tell Word where the data is. We need to link our Excel spreadsheet to our Word document. So you do this by clicking on Select Recipients. And if you choose Use an Existing List, the wording isn't particularly helpful here, but that is basically asking us to choose a list of data. That will open up my file browser, and I can navigate to my mail merge spreadsheet that we were looking at earlier, and I double click on that. And then it will ask me which tab my data is on. Now, on my spreadsheet, the Work Tracker tab was the tab that I had open with all the information and the data on that we want to use. So I'll select that tab. So now we've linked our Word document to our spreadsheet. What I can now do, rather than write Dear Steve, I can delete Steve's name, and I can insert from our spreadsheet a field. And a field is basically any of the column headings that you had in your spreadsheet. And because I've linked my Word document to my spreadsheet, when I click on the Insert Merge field, I've now got all the column headings from our spreadsheet. So I'm going to click on First Name, and you'll see there that it's included the first name there in our Word document. And you can click Preview Results here, and you'll see there that for field number 1, the first student, that was Steve. And if I scroll through using the arrows here, the name will change and it will show me each of the 10 students. I'm also going to take out the word standard. I'm going to replace that with another field or column heading from our spreadsheet, and that was the tier. And I'm going to take out the number of possible marks because that depends on the tier, and I'm going to add in there possible marks. I'm going to take out his score and put in raw score from our spreadsheet, and I'm going to take out his GCSE grade, and I'm going to put that in from the spreadsheet as well. So all of these in these brackets, these are mail merge fields, and these are just the column headings from our spreadsheet. Now when I preview the results, you can see that Steve there took the standard test. He had 35 possible marks, his score was 5, and his grade was 1. And if I browse through using the arrows to look at the different students, you can see how it will update all the information from the spreadsheet. Now, if I'm happy with my message and my data, I can click on Finish and Merge, select Send Email Messages, and now it gives me the option to select who I'm sending it to. So I'll need to scroll down here and find the student email address. Again, that's just a heading from our spreadsheet. I can put a subject for the email, and I've selected all, and if I was to click OK, that will then send out all 10 emails with their personalised information. But before I do that, I want to make sure that I'm only sending this message to those students that I want to send it to. So I'm going to cancel that first. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to edit the recipient list, and this will open up a dialog box. I'll just expand that a little bit. And what you can see there is essentially the information from our spreadsheet. Now you can see all of these boxes here are ticked. Ignore these ones down here with no data, that won't matter. But the 10 students that I've got there, each of them has a tick by their name. So each of those will receive their personalised email. Now I can see from the data from my spreadsheet that this student here, Mandy Clark, and this student, Amy Green, these two students did not actually submit a test. So I can deselect them from my mail merge and they will not be included in the email. So I'm going to select OK. And now, rather than having 10 recipients, I now have only 8. So I've removed from my mail merge those students that I didn't want to send that message to. And when I'm ready, I can again select student email address. I can put in there my email heading. And now when I select all and OK, it will send to all recipients, but only those that had a check mark next to their name, and it won't send the email to the 2 students that I deselected from that list. So hopefully that's helped you be able to set up your own mail merges so you can email out to multiple recipients. It will definitely make your emails look more professional and more personalised, and saves you a lot of time once you get used to how it works. There are some more complicated features you can add, including how you filter which recipient gets your email, and there's other things you can do in the formatting of the message itself, but I'll put those in a future video and you can watch that if you want to.